What's going on, everyone? I haven't shown you this bike in a while. This is my Ariel Grizzly e-bike, and I've got some major plans for this bike. We're going to be kind of revamping that bike and making some serious changes to it. And there's two things I'm going to do to it today to hopefully make it a little bit better. I'm going to change the rear freewheel and give it some different gearing. I've never done this before, so we're going to experiment today. And then I'm also going to change the tires again. I already changed the tires once, but I've decided I want a little bit more aggressive look on the tires, so we're going to swap them out again. Let me show you the parts I bought. Okay, so if you're a Grizzly owner, you know this. The gearing is awful on this bike. The stock gearing doesn't really work at all. For a bike that goes 35 miles an hour, and you've got this gearing setup where you completely ghost pedal this bike after like 25 miles an hour. Your legs are just spinning so fast. We're going to try to correct that. It's got a 52 up front, and the back is a 1434. We're going to change the back. We're going to change the rear freewheel. I bought this right here. We're going to go down to, I bought an 1128. So we're going to try to put this on there today. I've never done it. I have a freewheel removal tool. I should be able to do it. We're going to find out, but we're going to switch this, go down to 11 teeth for 7th gear instead of 14. And I'm hoping to see a big difference. Don't know how much it'll make, but we're going to find out. I took a clip of me pedaling this bike at like 30 miles an hour already, and we'll compare the two clips when we're done. So that's number one. We're going to swap that freewheel out, which is going to be a pain in the butt. The way the dropouts work, the wheel has to slide out instead of like down. It's a hassle trying to get around the gearing. Anyway, in the front wheel is actually a pain in the butt as well, changing tires, because there's no motor plug. Right here, the wire, it's just a wire. There's no plug. You can't unplug the front wheel. So to change the tire, you have to do it with just that length of wire. You have to change the tire right next to the bike because the wire won't stretch farther. It's a poor design. There should be a motor plug in here. I don't know. Hopefully they updated that on one of their newer models. We're gonna swap out tires today as well. I bought these Allscape tires because I like the tread pattern. It was a blockier look to it. However, this box with 2 tires in it weighs 14 pounds. So they're going to be significantly heavier than the stock and also what I've got on there. These were the stock ones. They were pretty thin, pretty worn out from front wheel spin. They were, I think they're CST tires. So we took those off originally and put on these Kenda Crays, which I like them, but they're very street oriented. They're basically a slick, right? And I've kind of decided I want this thing to be a little more aggressive looking on the tires. So we're going to take these off. All right, here we are. This is what the Allscape tires look like, and they gave me some tubes as well, so I'm glad to see there's other stuff in this box. Ooh, tire spoons. But look at that pattern, real big and blocky. That's gonna look cool. It's like a motorcycle tire. Love it. And I got it too because of the yellow writing on it. But that's gonna look cool. But I'm gonna weigh these tires. All right, first things first, real quick, let's weigh these tires. Here's the stock tire from the Grizzly. Looks like it weighs about 2 pounds and 8 ounces. So 2.5 pounds for a stock tire. And this new tire is gonna weigh 5 pounds, 2 ounces. So it's double the weight. Double the weight. That's and I know you're thinking, okay, well, you're putting these big heavy tires on this Grizzly. It's gonna slow it down. It's gonna have to, rotate that heavier mass. Trust me, when I'm done with this Grizzly and I up the power on it, it's not even gonna notice those tires on there. And I've already got some parts on order. They're in shipping right now. So when they get here, we're gonna give this baby a big power boost, and that's for a future video. So hit that subscribe button if you got a Grizzly and you want to see how to amp up the power on it. But all right, now let's get to work. All right, taking this back wheel off the Grizzly, I already took the axle nut off, and you can see you got a torque arm right here, so we'll have to release that. So a torque arm holding the axle in place, and also the inside here, you can see there's a torque washer in there as well. So very securely mounted, and you can see the dropout. It's got to come out this way, directly backwards. So it makes it a pain in the butt getting it around the derailleur. And on this side, kind of similar setup, you got this torque arm here that's part of your derailleur guard, just like a big metal plate right here, keeping that axle from spinning. And again, there's a torque washer on the inside. So it's a really securely mounted system. It's kind of the same on the front. Front wheel's really secure as well. You got steel dropouts. And then right there, torque washer right here, and also this torque plate or torque arm. So the motors are really secure on the Grizzly. I like that about it. All right, our progress has come to a stop. If you've ever worked on your e-bikes, you know it's constant problem solving. So here's my issue. This is a Freewheel removal tool and it doesn't fit. It won't go over the axle. The axle's too wide to allow this to go. It won't pass through that hole. So this does me no good. I don't know how to get this Freewheel off without having a tool with a larger opening in it. Now I know where to get that tool, but it is a $50 part just for this thing with a wider hole in it, 50 bucks, and it's also a 5-day wait. So I've got another idea. What if I just flip this over and undo the motor bolts there and pull the motor core? If I just pull the motor core out, the axle will come out with it. So if I pull the motor core, this will be gone and I'll have access to the Freewheel. So that's my plan. I'm gonna take the motor core out, then take the Freewheel off and then put everything back together. So let's do it. Why not? Let's try it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have success. Citizen Cycle problem solver. Yeah. So I know somebody in the comments will be like, there's a really easy way to do that. You didn't have to take the motor core out. Hey, it worked, right? So now I can get my Freewheel tool right down in there. And I'm a little bit surprised at how easy this motor core came out. That's what the inside of your Bafang 1000-watt Grizzly motor looks like. I expected it to be larger, honestly. I thought this area here would be larger. It looks smaller than the 750s I've taken apart before. So, but that worked. You know, if you find yourself in my situation where you can't get the Freewheel tool over the axle, you could pop the core out. All right, I'll show you the ending here. I had to stand up on this wheel and whack this wrench with a mallet to get this thing loosened up. It was on there super, super tight. So here's your old Freewheel. We do have a ring on there as well, but let's pop the new one on. All right, here's our new one. Let's just thread that baby on there. I don't think I need to make it all that tight because the chain is gonna tighten it as I pedal, so it's probably good enough right there. Suppose I could do a little bit like that. Hopefully this is good to go. I didn't take any measurements at all because that's the way I roll. I just try stuff. So we'll see how well the gears line up. Worst case scenario, I got to take things apart and adjust. But I mean, it looks similar. Let's try it out. All right, so I got everything put back together and I was giving it a little bit of a test before I put the axle nuts on. And as I pedal, it feels like it's kind of binding up and it definitely won't, you know, freewheel backwards. And I think what the issue is underneath this Freewheel, there's that metal ring. I think I need to remove that ring, which will allow the Freewheel to go further this way. Because right now the chain looks like it's hitting on the frame. That's what's not allowing it to freewheel backwards and why it feels kind of binding up when it pedals. But there you go. So that's what you get for being an amateur. This is how I do everything though. I just try stuff and figure it out. So I'm gonna have to disassemble everything. I'm gonna have to take this wheel back out. I'm gonna have to take the disc off. I'm gonna have to pull the motor core. I'm gonna have to take the Freewheel off, remove that ring, and then put it all back together again. So good thing I've got plenty of time today to do this. All right, and we are back to square one. So I believe underneath my Freewheel here, there is this ring. I think if I take this off, that might solve my problem. So we're gonna eliminate that and put this back on. All right, everything is back together, and when we pedal, we move the wheel, and we can also freewheel. I guess removing that ring worked, so now you know if that's your issue. It's binding up on you. Get rid of that ring. Freewheel fits perfectly now. All right, here's the finished product. Definitely a more aggressive look. I like the tires, that big blocky tread pattern. It looks a lot meaner. So digging the tires, and from the little bit I've ridden them, they're pretty quiet. I'm surprisingly quiet on the pavement. They felt good on the bumps and they hooked pretty good on takeoff. There wasn't a dramatic amount of wheel spin on the front. So I'm happy so far with these tires. I'll of course link all these parts below if you want to get something similar. And plus the yellow writing on it just matches the Grizzly so perfectly. Now as far as the gearing goes, we went from having a 14 for 7th gear to having an 11 for 7th gear on the back, and it made a pretty good difference. I've got clips of myself pedaling at about 30 miles per hour with both setups, and you can see my pedal cadence was dramatically reduced, I'll say. It used to be you had feeling in the pedals up until about maybe 24, 25 miles an hour. Now I'd say you have pretty decent feeling in the pedals up until about 30 miles an hour, and then once you get beyond that, you start running out. So pretty good difference. I'm happy, I'm pleased with that. I would like to change out the front chainring on this bike. However, I might have another plan in mind. So if you've got a Grizzly or you're interested in the Grizzly, you're gonna wanna hang out and check out some of the upcoming videos on this bike. We are gonna boost the performance on her as well. And we're gonna see just how fast we can make this bike off the line. I would like to make this, you know, as quick off the line where it challenges the Citizen bike. Right now it can't hang with the Citizen bike, but that might be changing in the future. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. I'm gonna try to do a little bit more Grizzly content because I really do enjoy this bike. I like it a lot. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video today, watching me fumble through trying to figure all this stuff out. I know every bicycle technician was like pounding on the screen like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But hey, I'm just a regular guy. I just figure stuff out. So I hope you had fun watching it, as much fun as I had making it. Thank you so much for watching.